welcome back to another episode of the Pitch Putt and Puff podcast. My name is Roger, aka RGB. Appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight. Before we get rolling with our guest, going to give a shout out to a couple sponsors. First, let's start out with 420 Bliss, located at 740 Hoosier Road in Troy, right up in the Walmart Plaza. Stop in there, check them out. Everything you're looking for: flour, pre-roll, edibles, tinctures, vapes, you name it, they got it. If you're looking for any edibles or vapes, make sure you check out Jaunty. Bunch of different products in the mango sunrise to the blueberry lemonade gummies and a variety of different cartridges and disposables. So make sure you go and check them out at 420-bliss.com. If you want to set up a pre-order or delivery service available online, or you can download the app at just a little higher, and you can set up your pre-order or your delivery right there as well. If you're on the app, just make sure you're looking at the 420 location. They do have a few other locations down in New York City. Also, make sure you guys check out Trouble of the Tea, troubleofthetea.com, promo code RGB, get you 15% off site-wide. Promo code PUFF for buy one, get one free on the polos. Make sure you guys go over there, take a look. Bunch of different options over at Trouble of the Tea, from hoodies, quarter zips, hats, you name it. Marty's got it over there. He was running a 50% off site-wide sale. I'm not sure if that is still going, but expect to see something coming up here for the holidays. But also check out the book. Make sure you guys check out the book, Trouble Off the Tea, available on Audible and Spotify. Author is Marty Midian, narrated by Jake Adams from Country Club Adjacent. Make sure you guys go and give that a listen when you're at the site. We're going to take a quick break, though, and we'll get into our guest here in just a moment. And we're back here on the Pitch Putt and Puff. I'd like to introduce my guest today. We got Dave from Back Nine Botanicals. Dave, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thanks, Roger. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
No, appreciate your time for sure. Also, I appreciate the samples of the product, which we'll get into in a few moments here. But before we do that, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into golf?
My pleasure, man. Yeah, I grew up in Minnesota. You can probably figure that out as soon as we start talking.
Yeah.
I grew up in the western suburb of Minneapolis called Minnetonka, which is close to Chaska, where Prince is from. But more importantly, it's also where Hazeltine National Golf Course is. So I don't know if you're familiar with Hazeltine.
Yep.
It's played quite a few tournaments on the big stage. It's hosted the 91 Open with Payne Stewart winning that one, and it's held all kinds of Ryder Cups, PGAs, all kinds of big tournaments out there. But back in early 1970s, my dad was a member out there back when it was nothing, right? Mm-hmm. And him and my uncle were members out there. And man, they like I said, that back then it was nothing. In 1970, they had the first U.S. Open out there, and Tony Jacklin was the winner. And they asked, "What's this course missing?" And he said, "Well, about 40 acres of corn and some cows." Right? That was back in the day. So that course came a long way. And thanks to my dad and my uncle and the junior golf program out there, which was led by the great University of Minnesota golf coach Les Bolstead, I got to learn a lot about golf, and I've been playing all of my life.
Wow. Yeah, you got
never got any better at it, and I never played it for anything but to play. But I've been playing all my life, and it is a passion of mine.
That's awesome. Yeah, I tried to play when I was younger. Couldn't get into it. It was too slow for me because I was the football, baseball, basketball guy. But then once everything slowed down, I got right into it, and I've been hooked ever since for about the past 7 years now.
Yeah, so they don't let you play a lot of football once you get past 20. So you got to find something that works.
Something to do. I was doing that. I did a 30 and over basketball league for a little bit, and I was like, yeah, I'm all done. Then I did one league. I did one men's league, and there was like a bunch of kids who just out of high school, and I'm chasing these 18, 19-year-old kids around at 35 years old. I'm like, yeah, I'm all set.
Yeah, that's a
I'm
wrap.
all set. Let's go hit a golf ball around. That thing will stay still for me.
That's right. Let's go play the hardest game there is and see how I do at that,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Now, were you into the cannabis business prior to Back Nine?
Well, yes. Short answer is yes. And I mean, I've been cannabis all my life as a lifelong smoker and user of cannabis. And I was in sales and marketing for most of my life as well. Started in sales and marketing, in my 20s out of school. And about 7 years ago or so, right around when I turned 50, I quit my old job, and the hemp and cannabis business was just kind of taking off.
Mm-hmm.
So I got involved with that as an independent sales rep for a brand called CBD Lux. They're part of a manufacturer named BE Labs out of Denver, and I worked with them for the next 7 years until this opportunity came along where a very good friend of mine, my friend Matt, who's my next door neighbor out here, has an old friend named Ryan Hutchison, who's the owner of this company. Who's an old Ryan lives in Iowa. My buddy was from Iowa. He said, "Hey, he's got this new brand, and I think he could use some help." And I was like, "Hey, I'm in. Golf
Yep.
and cannabis and hemp. It's everything a guy could dream about." So it's been a lot of fun working together with Ryan and getting this thing going.
Yeah, I seen you guys. I was doom scrolling on my Instagram one night and came across the page, and I was like, wow, this is like the perfect thing to get an interview on the Pitch Putt and Puff for sure. Because
Yeah.
most of my listeners are obviously cannabis users, and CBD is a thing that I just personally got into within the past, I'd say, 6 months or so. And like for my, my hand will be bothering me from work. I do physical labor for work, something like that. My back, slap some CBD cream on there, boom, feeling good to go within a little while. And it's a big difference. And where I thought it wouldn't work because I smoke cannabis,
Yeah.
that it wouldn't have a factor, but I do notice the difference for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and the quality means a lot in this business too. You can. There's plenty of products that don't deliver on the promise,
Mm-hmm.
but when done well, it works. I mean, especially for the main things. I mean, the anxiety, the pain relief, the inflammation, those kinds of things are really front and center, and for most people, it can have a amazing effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's hear a little bit about Back Nine and some of the products you guys offer.
Yeah, that's. I mean, we started with the idea of making functional blends, right? Functional canna blends. So the first set of products, the OG canna blends, are done with isolated like Delta 9, like the midnight. Let's see, the Birdie Balance comes in with Delta 9 THC, a little THCP, and some CBG, right? Mixed in with a functional blend for all any time during the day, etc. The Tea Time Sunrise, that has the Delta 8. If you get into that a whole lot these days, it's taken off quite a bit. It's got a lot of the same kind of high properties, but a little less of the anxiety gets reported for some people. So it's a nice piece. And that has a little bit of THCV, kind of a little up kind of piece to the THCV, and then some more, and then CBG in that one, and then another nighttime blend in this Midnight Mulligan, which is again with some THC, Delta 9, and then the CBN, of course, which helps with sleep, and CBD. So those three blends were the originals. We call those the OG canna blends. And when I came on, got started here, one of the first things we did was we're going to try to make some different blends that are just a little bit maybe more functional for people. Those are, you can get high, you can get, those that you catch a good buzz if you eat a full one of those. There's a lot of D9 in there. So we did a new blend called the Players Blend, which is something that specifically I wanted to do. This something you could play on, that could really play on, right? If you want, obviously anybody can catch any level of buzz they want, and you'll find your own level. But this one here we made specifically to play on. It's only got 2 milligrams of Delta 9 THC, and then it's got a supplement blend of D-almylate and citrulline and L-theanine. So it's a little, and just a little bit of caffeine. So it's an energy and focus blend, a real focus kind of thing, with just a little bit of the D9 to relax. And then we made a new sleep version with just a little less THC, just only 5 milligrams of THC, and some Blue Lotus extract along with the CBN, which is amazing. Like, Blue Lotus extract is super slick for getting some rest and waking up and not feeling that groggy feeling. So that and another version of this Birdie Boost with a little magnesium, a little bit, and B12 added to it, just for a little different style of blends in the Performance Canna Plus line is what we call these.
Okay.
So we're excited about those. And yeah, we're gonna. I think the next piece we're gonna do a little 2-ounce THC shooter, so that people can have little shot drinks, kind of like a 5-hour energy size bottle, which is pretty slick. And we're gonna make one for you, the heat therapy pain stick, which I have.
There you go.
Yeah, something that'll help us, some for the old guys here, for the rest of us. So,
absolutely, yeah, we need that, man. Send that.
Yeah, we're excited about that. The THC shot will probably be out. We just released these 3 new blends, and THC shot probably be out in our hands next week after. So maybe within a couple weeks you'll see that one available. Nice. And then the pain stick is just going into production. So that's going to be probably another month or so before we see that one. But we're excited that'll round out the line for a bit. And then we do some apparel, do so with our pot leaf and club mark that we do on hats and shirts and some vests and things like that.
Yeah, cool. I was just looking at some of the merch on the site with the hats and stuff before we hopped on here.
Yeah.
One question I did have for you about there was something. Oh my gosh, I wrote it down. The entourage, was it the entourage dose?
The entourage effect is something that they refer to in this space, right? It's the concept of within the plant, right? Within a cannabis or hemp plant, there's no difference in hemp and cannabis, right? It's the same plant. It's all, the only defining difference between cannabis and hemp is the amount of THC in the plant, right? The federal hemp rules state that a hemp plant can have no more than 0.3% Delta 9 THC by dry weight, right? So that's the only difference. And then in any hemp or cannabis plant, there's over 200 separate compounds and cannabinoids within that. So the concept of the entourage effect is that when you're using like a whole plant extract, like a whole plant distillate versus say when they're isolated, if you have a D9 isolate, a CBN isolate, you can combine those, but it's different than if you're using the whole plant extract.
Gotcha.
And that's what's happening. That's what's in this Birdie Boost, as a matter of fact, is a very unique oil that we use called B-Verin, we call it, and it has just a really high naturally occurring CBD concentration along with CBDV and THCV and some of the other minor cannabinoids. So the idea of how all those things actually work together is the entourage effect.
The entourage effect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Yeah, and then there was something else I was reading about. Now the color of the plants, it makes a difference. Like it has different effects of like the healing purposes of it.
I wouldn't necessarily say the colors.
Okay.
That manifests in a lot of different ways through the genetics, but the terpenes can have an effect, a large effect, in how a plant operates and feels and affects. Terpenes are like the essential oils that within the plant, basically.
Yep.
Right, where you're getting the smells and some of that, and they have an effect as well. They can help. Yeah.
Gotcha. Awesome, man. Yeah, this is a real interesting product. I mean, I got probably one or two more rounds in the season left for us out here. As long as it stays, if it's in the 40s, we'll play. As long as the wind stays below 10 miles per hour.
Dude, we played in Minnesota. I don't care what was happening. If the snow was still coming, we played as much as we could, man.
Yeah, that's how we are.
Yeah.
But we got 12 guys that we get out every Sunday with, and we do like a little loop. Everybody goes and plays the round. We pull cards at the end in a blind draw, throw up a couple bucks, and a couple guys take home the cash. So it makes it a fun little Sunday round with the boys.
That's great. You know what? Have yourself a back nine tournament, and only count the back nines one of these times for me.
All right, yeah, we should definitely. A lot of guys would appreciate that because they play the back nine a lot better.
That's the deal. That's what I kind of want to. That's one of the next things I want to work on. We're trying to put together an idea of kind of like a traveling road show. You know, kind of a fun show where you come out to the course and we bring a pro maybe, you know, and do some lessons and stuff. Do some group lessons. Bring a DJ. Get some food out there. And just make a day of it, you know, and sponsor like some tournament kind of play, maybe do like back nine tournaments kind of thing. So I'm looking forward to trying to develop that into something we can take on the road.
Nice. I gotta hook you up with my girl Shannon from the Cannabis Golf League. You familiar with Shannon at all?
No, that's great. What?
She's right out in your neck of the woods in Colorado as well too. So
okay, yeah,
I'll link you up
do.
with her. Yeah,
please do. Great, that'd be awesome.
Definitely get you linked up with her. She's always got something going on. She's constantly has tournaments and all stuff like that. So she'd be a great person to talk to.
That's awesome, man. That's great. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing for us. We want to be more than just a brand, you know. We want to make it part of lifestyle, you know, part of something that it's a place where people go and we're all part of a community together. You know, it's all the lessons I learned growing up from my dad and my uncle, and you know, I want to be able to honor those guys and remember, you know, what I learned growing up and keep this game going because there's something special about it. Once you get hooked, you're hooked, as you know.
Absolutely. It's one of those things too. The game it's growing now too, which is cool to see. You got a lot of younger people involved. I have a 7-year-old daughter. Last Christmas she got a set of clubs. She's been out there a few times with me this year. So I don't want to overdo it with her to where she doesn't like it. So I'm just pacing myself, picking my days.
That's right. Well, those are the special times, man. You know, those are the ones that I'll never forget. That, you know, like that's told you that my dad, my uncle, they grew up playing every Saturday, Sunday out there. You know, they had their tea times, and then there'd be the days where they'd have us come out, my brother and I, and we'd play a second 9 in the afternoon, and those are the special times that you remember for the rest of your life. So
yeah, for sure.
Good for you.
For sure. So I'm gonna wrap this up here with 3 questions, David. We'll start off with what's your favorite club in your bag?
Well, you warned me of this one, which is good because I just my friend DJ Stenner, who I want to do the DJ stuff with the music, he just gave me this a TaylorMade an R11
Okay.
driver that I can finally hit. Man, I've been lost in the woods with driving the ball for the last few years, and he handed me this one down, and I can actually hit this thing. And it makes the game a little more fun when you're playing from the short grass more often. So the TaylorMade R11 driver is the current winner.
Oh, nice. That's my same problem on the courses. I'm sponsored by Trouble Off the Tee for a reason. I cannot get off the tee for
Yeah, I like the name of that group. I
to
like
to
it.
save my life, man. It's once if I do, I have a like for example, yesterday I shot a 45 on the front, wasn't getting off the tee that good. Shot a 42 on the back, was getting off the tee a lot better. It's just the
That's
difference of those couple shots,
it's huge, right? It's
Yeah.
huge. Right? You can always get something up and close to the green, but if when you're hitting three off the tee, that's no fun.
Right. Or my second shot's behind a tree and I got to punch out. A lot of that yesterday. A lot of that. And then here's another. What's your favorite course you ever played? This you might have answered this one earlier in
Well,
the
I'll
conversation.
say, I mean, when I was back in my 20s, we traveled the U.S. and I worked a lot doing sales and marketing and different stuff where we were on the road all the time. So we played everywhere. I played a lot of fun courses, but it's Hazeltine. Right?
Yeah.
That's my favorite. It'll always be my sentimental favorite, and it's a really playable course. Quite honestly, it's a great course.
Right.
So I always go back to that one.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew the answer to that as soon as you brought that up earlier.
Yeah.
That's it. And then, who would be three people you would add to your dream foursome?
Well, I grew up watching golf with my dad, so like the Lee, Jack, Arnie era. That's my stuff, and like I said, for as long as I can remember, my dad and my uncle, they played on Saturday and Sunday, and we'd come home and we'd watch the broadcast on VCR, right?
Yeah.
watch it back. So my first answer is my dad, my uncle, and my brother.
Yeah.
But if I had to say, I would love Lee Trevino, Chi Chi, and
Yep.
Sevi. I think would be
Ooh.
a fun one. It would be my
That'd be a good group right there. Oh yeah, that's a
that'd
real
be
good
my
group.
favorite group. Yeah.
Wow. That's a good one. No one's brought those guys up, especially Lee. Lee would be a real good
I
one to
used
play
to
with.
love Lee Trevino. I mean, he's funny,
Yeah.
had great personality. I did a thing. Chi Chi was out at Hazeltine once when I was a young kid. They had some special thing, and I carried that scoreboard thing that they carry around the stanchion.
Yeah.
I carried that around for that tournament, so I got to see Chi Chi up close. And then Sevi was just a force of nature too.
Right. Right. That had to be a cool experience though as a kid sitting there getting all up close with the holding the sound.
Yeah, that was him. Who else was that? Fuzzy, I think, was there. Fuzzy Zeller,
Yeah.
Chi. I can't remember who else was out there. It was like four of them. They did a special thing, and they let like some of the juniors do that stuff that were out there. So
That's cool though. As a kid though, that's a cool experience for sure.
you never forget it. You never forget it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, David, why don't you let the listeners know where they can find you?
Hey man, we are on back nine, the number nine, back nine botanicals.com. And from there you can get to all the socials and everything else. So come see us.
Yeah, definitely go check out the merch too, the hats for all you golfers, cannabis users. Go check out the hats because those hats are pretty fire with
I'm gonna
the
put
logo.
some shirts up there next, and I'll get them up there quick for us.
Yeah, for sure. And then let me know when those shots are available too. I'll let the boys know. And we'll get into some of those.
Right on. That's great,
Awesome.
man. Hey, I appreciate the time, Roger. Thanks a lot, man.
No, absolutely. I appreciate your time. Make sure everybody goes and checks out Back Nine Botanicals. And we will see you on Friday with another episode of the Pitch Putt and Puff. Talk to you then.
Right on. Peace. All right.